subscribe to this channel.
So, crushes. Crushes are the best and worst thing ever. Have you ever had one? I have, like lots. In fact, when I was in high school, I discovered that compared to other kids, I had way more crushes than most kids I knew. I was kind of like a serial crusher, but nothing compared to the first one, Stephanie. The cutest girl I'd ever seen. Now, admittedly, at that point, my access to cute girls was fairly limited to my preschool class. Oh, I'd stare at her, daydreaming about watching TV together or going on picnics. I even started wearing her favorite color, burgundy, and became an expert on strawberry shortcake. The show, not the dessert. The one time Stephanie and her best friend April rode in my carpool, I was trying so hard to keep it cool, but I was pretty convinced that if she so much as said hi to me, I would have peed in my pants. So, are crushes a good or bad thing? Obviously, a crush and a relationship are not the same thing. By definition, a crush is a brief but super intense infatuation, especially for someone who's unattainable or even inappropriate. It's like the poker hand of emotions. It can make you feel, giddy and magical as you imagine buying your first house together, but then it can also leave you nervous and disappointed when you realize they don't know your name and might be a movie star who's married. Not that that's ever happened to me before. What should we do with those feelings? When I got to high school, I started to get brave and ask out some of them on dates. But when you're 10, what are you supposed to do with those crush feelings? To clarify, I asked my friend, Dr. Jeannie, how to deal with some of these crush feelings. And here's what she said.
Hi, Adam. So the first thing I want you to know about crushes is that they are perfectly normal at any age and even can be a sign of healthy growing up. The tricky thing about crushes is that you have to handle them differently at different ages. So when you're really young, it's important to know that crushes are usually based on feelings or attractions from afar. So they just stay in a fantasy world and it's never really becomes a two-way street type of relationship. So just remember that the feelings can be good and normal, but it's important and wise to not act on them. Have fun with the good feelings that you're having and certainly don't feel guilty about them. But the wisest thing to do is to not act at them until you are mature and ready for a dating relationship.
I wish I'd known Dr. Jeannie when I was 10. And in case you're wondering whatever happened to Stephanie, the goddess of my preschool dreams, after going to different elementary and middle schools, she showed up in my 9th grade math class. I got weird and nervous all over again, but by the time 12th grade rolled around, we'd actually kind of become friends. We were both elected to the homecoming court, and I thought it'd be cool for old time's sake to invite her to walk with me as friends. That's when I finally came clean that she had been my first crush ever, and she was super gracious about it. Even on our last day of high school, we posed for this picture. Turns out I had great taste in crushes, even way back then. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. For more Adam's Answers episodes, you can click right here. And please don't forget to subscribe. That happens down here. Laugh a little, think a lot, love better.